Hey guys, myself Afan and welcome back to my YouTube channel Tech Fears. I hope you're going good. And in the last video we created header for our website. And in this video we will see how we can add animations and fonts in our website. So let's get into our Sublime code. So first thing I want to add animation to my banner. So here is my banner. So as you can see over here when I refresh this, my banner is dropping down right from top. So from the original position, first thing I have to shift it to top. Then at the end of my animation, I want it slowly to be coming towards bottom. So what I'll do, I will give an animation name to this. So I'll say drop down. This is just a name, so you can give the name as you wish. So one more property is that animation duration. I will set it to 2 seconds. This defines for how long my animation should run. Then I have one more property called animation timing function, and I will set it to ease in. This defines and this my animation should move in smoothly. So let me quickly define this animation. So to define the animation, we have keyword called keyframes, and I will write the name of my animation drop down. Then inside this, what I will do, I will set the opacity to 0. This means that at the big not here, first thing I have to do it this way. For this defines this 0% defines at the beginning of my animation. So at the beginning of my animation, when it is 0%, I want it I want the opacity to be 0. uh, this specifies that my text at the beginning of my animation is completely transparent. So as soon as it goes further from 0 to 100%, my opacity gradually increases to 1. So then at the beginning you also want transform property, and I will say transform y. So in the vertical axis I want my banner to be placed 50 pixel above the above of its original position. So what I'll do, I will say minus 50 pixel. So what it will do, you can see over here. So it's not working. Okay, the name has been changed over here. So I'll copy the same name, and when I rerun this thing, you can see this banner is dropping smoothly towards down. Uh, Now let us similarly do this thing for our header heading tag as well, heading text. So here is my heading text. I will copy these same things. I will copy this down, come to my header one, paste it over here. Then similarly I'll copy these keyframes and come here. Then I will change the name of this animation to say move in right. So I'll copy the same, define it over here. So initially the same thing, I want my text to be transparent at the beginning of my animation. So I'll say transform, and this time I want it in uh, horizontal direction. So I'll say X, and I'll say minus let me say minus 150 pixel. So at the beginning of my animation, it will be 150 pixel towards left side of the original position. So let me show you by refreshing this. As you can see, it at the beginning of the animation it is being placed 150 pixel towards the left, and when as soon as it goes from 0% to 100%, you can see it comes to its original position. But whereas when I refresh this, you can see this text over here, it just comes all over till right and bounces back. So what I will do, I will say for let's say at 80% of my animation, what I want my transform translate, I'll say translate x with respect to x-axis, I will say not 50, I will say 25 pixels. So what this does is at the 85% at the 80%, uh, my text will come 25 pixels toward the right side. So just before getting to its original position, it will go towards right. So let me show you how this works. Not here, this thing. So when I refresh it, you can see it just goes to the right, bounces back. So at my 80%, it should it goes to 25 pixel towards right, the from the original position. So similarly, let us do this for this text as well, our subheading. So I'll copy the same thing. I'll say animation name, copy it over here, copy this down, and let me even copy this keyframes as well. So I will copy this and I'll paste it over here. Let me change the name to this completely. I'll change it to move in left. So similarly, I will change it over here to move in left. So now instead of minus 150, I will say 150 pixels. So initially at the beginning of my animation, it will be 150 pixel towards right. So when it comes to 80%, it will be 25 pixels towards left from the original position. So finally at 100%, it will be at its original position. So that's why you see the bounce effect of text animation. So before doing this, I want to tell you that this won't work. The reason behind this is we have already used the transform property over here. So to make this animation, first thing I have to remove this transform property because it is already been defined, so it will not work over here. So I'll remove this, and in order to place, I will say margin, let us say margin right, and I will set it same as 150 pixel. So it will do the same thing of this transform property. So let me refresh it and see. You can see that it is actually coming over here. So it is not from right, it should actually be from left side. So let me refresh this. So you can see smooth animation coming over here. So I'll come down, it should be minus 25 pixels. So let me refresh it. So now you can see so beautiful bounce back over here. So now let us do the same thing for our button as well. Our button, in the sense, here is my anchor tag, so it is button register. So what we will do, we'll go here. First thing, we'll copy this same thing. I will copy this and I will paste it over here. I'll paste it over here. Then I will change it name. I will say move above, move above, and I will define it. Let me copy it so that it reduces my work. So I'll paste this down. I'll copy this name over here, then paste it here. Save it. Then I don't want this thing now. 80%. So initially at the starting of my animation at 0%, I want from vertically, like translate y-axis, I want it at the bottom. So I will say, for example, not this much, I'll say 50 pixels. So when I refresh this, you can see my button coming slowly towards its original position. So you can even see when I hover over it, you get a beautiful transition over here. So when I click it, you can see this transition coming there. So to do that, we'll come here. First thing, we will set the shadow. As you can see, we have a shadow over here, right? So we will set a shadow. I'll show you how to set the shadow to this. So here's my anchor tag. So I'll say box shadow, not bar, it's box shadow, and I will say 10, not 10, say 5, not even 5, 2 pixel, 2 pixel, similarly 2 pixel, and I will say 15 pixel, and I want it to be white. So basically this 2 pixel indicates towards how much shadow it should come towards the left side within x-axis, and this 2 pixel says within y-axis how much pixel it should come. Then this 2 pixel specifies the size of the shadow, and this 15 pixel specifies how transparent this shadow should be. So when I refresh this, you can see my shadow appearing. So this actually 15 pixel specifies how big my shadow should appear. So I will reduce this down to uh, 2 pixel as well. So let us see how this looks. So this is my shadow coming over here, 2 pixel at the bottom and 2 pixel to right within x-axis and y-axis, and 2 pixel is its transparency as well as its size. So if I say this transparency to 15 pixels and I refresh this, you can see it has been spread, it has become a bit transparent. So I will not do that, I will keep it the same, 2 pixel, refresh this. Now when I hover over this, I have to get a transition. As you can see over here, when I hover, it moves slightly towards top right. So to do that, uh, first thing I have to make sure that I make my anchor tag. I set the display property of my anchor tag to inline block. As in the last video I specified what inline block does. It takes the space only that much of the area what my content is covering. So if you want to know what exactly is this, watch my previous video. Then now I want this transition, I want it to go up. So what I will do, I will take this whole thing, I will copy this down, I will paste it over here. So when I hover this, I have the property called hover. Then I will say transform, and I will say translate with respect to y-axis. I want it 5 pixel, so it will move up a bit. So let us see how this works. That this works. So you can see it is working. It is going a bit up. So now when I click over it, it should come to bottom. As you can see, when I click this, it it comes to bottom. So to do that, we have one more property. I will just copy this whole thing, paste it over here. Oh, let me come a bit down. Okay, then I have a property called active. So this, what this specifies is whether the anchor tag is been clicked or not. So I will say when your anchor tag is clicked, I want the transform property or to be say 3 pixel. So I will say 3 pixel. So from the top it will reduce it to 3 pixels. So when I hover it, it is going slightly towards up. When I click, it is coming 3 pixel towards down from that position. So you can see this is the animation. So but when I hover this, you can see, let me go back. So when I hover this, you can see this shadow coming out, right? You can see this shadow coming out. So let me even do that. So I will copy this box shadow property. I will paste it over here. So when I hover over it, I want my shadow to be slightly a bit big, and I won't want its transparency. So similarly, I'll copy the same thing, paste it over here, and I will reduce back to its original one. When I click active, or I'll say 2 pixel. So let us see how this works. So when I hover over it, you can see shadow is popping out. So when I click it, you can see the shadow is dropping down. So you can uh, play with this box shadow to get it perfect. So I will leave it to you now. I hope you got this. Then, then now let us see how to use these fonts. So to use these fonts, let me, you can see, first I will change this color is to header tags. I'll change it to gray color. So my header tags are, I guess, where are my header tags? So here are my header tags. So what I'll do, I will copy this thing. I will paste it over here, and I will set its color to gray. So hash 777. This indicates gray color. So this is the hexa property which specifies gray color. You can even directly name it to gray. So when I refresh it, okay, it is not actually header 2, it is actually header 3. So I'll save it and I will run it. So you can see these two header tags have been changed. Now let us see how to change its font. So to use fonts, we have this we have Google Fonts. So you can search for Google Fonts and get into the first link. If possible, I will mention that in the description box as well. So here I will use a font name called Amaranthi. You can use any of your wish. So I will click this down, and you can see over here you can select this style. So as soon as you select, we have this thing over here. We can go to embed, then simply copy this link from here, and what you need to do, you need to go to your index file and you have to paste it over here. So once after pasting this, uh, you need to even copy this style. Yeah, and I will come back to style.css. So I will go back to my banner. So okay, here it is, here itself. So and I'll paste this down over here. So and save it, and let me go back to my page and refresh this. You can see my font have been changed. So but you can see we have some spacing in between these letters, right? So to do that, we have a property called letter spacing. So I will set it to say 5 pixels, and when I refresh this, not this, here. So when I refresh this, you can see there is a spacing between these letters, right? And I will even give some width to my banner. So to do that, I will go over here. I will set my width to 600 pixels. So when I refresh this, you can see it is beautifully arranged over here completely. So now let us change the font of this text. So the font which I am using over here is Samarkand font. So it is not actually available on Google Fonts. So you have to externally download it. So this is the site over here. I will link this down in the description. So you can visit over here and say download file. So as soon as you say download, this will download a zip file. So what you can do, you can, I have already placed this in my fonts folder. So this is my directory structure. So here let me first delete these files and unzip this again. So let me first delete this, and when I unzip this thing, you get these files. Okay, so you can read the document if you wish. So shortly, let me get back here. So to use this font before the header tag, let me before this my heading 1 tag. Here is my heading 1 tag. Okay, here is my heading 1 tag. So before my heading 1 tag, I have to first define the font for that. So to define that, I have the property font face. I will say font family, and I will give it a name. You can give a name as you wish. So I will specify Samarkand over here. Then I should specify font uh, style, and I will say normal so that it behaves normally. Then I will say font weight to 100. So this indicates how bold my font should be. Then finally I have to link the file where my inside my fonts folder I have these files, some other files, right? So I have to link that. To link that, I will use the property called as source, and I will give its path. So currently I am in the style CSS folder. So I have to go one directory back. Then inside my fonts folder, I have these files called summon.ttf. So I will go over here. I will just copy this name, come back here, and I will paste this here. So I have linked my file over here. Now I can use this font anywhere in my web page. So I will come over here in my header heading tag. I'll say font family, and I will use this Samarkand font. Let us see if it is applied or not. When I refresh, you can see this font is been applied to my heading 1 tag. So now what I have to do, you can see over here when I go, there is some spacing between the letters, right? So what I will do, I will say letter spacing, and I will give it 15 pixels. And when I refresh it, now this here, when I refresh it, you can see there is spacing between the letters. Now you can also see we have a shadow to this text, right? So to get that, we will use a property called text shadow. So what we will do, we will say 2 pixels, 2 pixels, and finally we will use say 10 pixel, and we will specify what color that shadow should be. Specify black. This basically is a 2 pixel represents with respect to x-axis, and this 2 pixel with respect to y-axis, and this 10 pixel the size of the shadow, how much it should spread. Then black indicates the color. So when I refresh this thing, you can see the shadow is been applied. So it is too close. Let me increase its size to say 3 pixel and 3 pixel as well over here. So when I refresh it, let me even increase its size. So when I increase its size, you can see the shadow has been applied beautiful over here. So similarly, let us increase this distance. So you can mess around with this to get it more perfect. So this is guide, we got it perfectly. So now let us see how to change the font of my subheading. So let me go back to my Google Fonts, and I will be using the shadows into like this style. You can browse it. Then let me close and show it to you again. Then I will just select this style. Whereas you can go over here, and you see two things. You will go to embed, then copy this thing as I did previously to my banner. Then I will go to my index file. I will paste it over here. Then again I will go to my CSS file, go back here, copy my style part. Then then I'll come here to my subheading. Then I will paste it here. Then let us see how that is applied. So you can see it is been applied to here as well. So that's it for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you liked it, and if so, make sure that you hit the like button. If any questions or any topic that you want me to cover, just comment down and I will make sure that I reach you. And in the next video, we will see how to create a section in order to link your YouTube video. To get some more content on these topics, subscribe to my YouTube channel and press the bell icon. Till then, happy coding.